So for assignment 1, task 1, as you can see, I've created the star shape. I did this by overlaying 4 separate triangles. And as you can see, I created 8 vertices. I only needed 8 rather than 12 because, as you can see from the index buffer, I have reused a couple of the triangles. And I can change it to the wireframe and better illustrate this. So which you can see from here is that there's 4 triangles, 2 horizontal, 2 vertical, that share the same. And so now for task 2, as you can see, I've created the triangulated circle. I have added in the numverts. For that one, there was 12 vertices. As you can see here, basically what I'm doing is just iterating through for each vertice, basically calculating the angle of the triangle and incrementing that to form the vertices, and then I'm basically looping through for each vertice, setting up the index buffer, which you can see here is an example for the 12 vertices. And now I have I have changed the number of vertices to 250. It looks, you can see it looks like the example that was shown. Okay, so for the further work, question 1 regarding the changing the z-value. By changing the z-value, it seems it's going to end up changing the depth and possibly pushing it outside of a near or far clipping plane, and part of it getting clipped off. And maybe that combined with the triangle winding affects it, but I think it's the clipping, because I can set this depth clip enable on the rasterizer to false, and it will display all of the triangle as it would look as on the one triangle example. So I think it's the clipping that's doing it. So for number 2, regarding the top left and the viewport, the top left seems to be just changes the offset of where the viewport would start relative to the window. And this could be useful, as most people have pointed out. Seems to be the most common would be this doing a split screen, or maybe some UI elements. So that was about that. And finally, for number 3, the DXGI formats are basically tell the input assembler what format that the data that's streamed in is in. The R8G8 V8 A8 UNorm is basically a 8-bit RGBA normalized, though, so unsigned normalized, so 0 to 1. And this is a pretty standard way of representing, say, a color with the RGBA. So the background color would be a good example of the usage for that. And for the R16 uint, we're using it to specify the format of the index buffer, which is a 16-bit unsigned integer. And you can see by how they've defined a word as an unsigned short, which is a 16-bit integer, basically. And I've seen that it can also be used for texture mapping and things such as that. So that's about it.